We'll get started with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Kirim Yatkrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Krishna Chaitanyam Ishmaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are in this chapter titled Questions by King Parikshit, and we are starting a new chapter today. So we'll recite the prayers and then get started. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nishtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir-bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. So, what we saw in the previous chapter is that we saw the Leela incarnations of the Lord. And all this is being explained by Brahma to Narada. So there was a point when Parikshit Maharaj had a question about this universe, how it is created, how it is maintained, what are the ingredients, how it is formed, and all that. So, in answer to that question, what happened was Shukdev Goswami, he started quoting the conversation between Narada and Brahma, because these questions were asked by Narada Muni in the past as well. So the answers was given in from the chapter 2.5 that says cause of all causes. So there onwards, Narada Muni heard the answers from Brahma to his questions. After 2.5, we saw the chapter Purusha Sukta confirmed. So some of the answers are also mentioned in this chapter. The Purusha Sukta prayers are from the Vedas, and the same content is present in the Bhagavatam also. Right after that, the various Leela incarnations of the Lord is mentioned. Right after he described about the Purushavatars, Brahma continued to speak about the different Leela incarnations. These are the different incarnations of the Lord that come from time to time and perform many pastimes. So several Leela incarnations were mentioned, and towards the end of that section, again, Gunavataras are mentioned, where Brahma says, I help with creation, Vishnu helps with sustenance, and Lord Shiva helps with annihilation. And he also confirms towards the end that it is simply impossible to understand the greatness of Lord Vishnu without Lord Vishnu's mercy. And he also speaks a little bit about the Paramatma and the Brahman feature. But we understand, and it is also described, that the Bhagavan feature is the ultimate understanding of the Supreme Lord. So, like this, Brahmaji, he described to his son about the Supreme Lord Hari, how he creates all the worlds and without whom nothing can actually exist. Then he tells his son, my dear son, please distribute this Srimad Bhagavatam. This Srimad Bhagavatam should be given to everybody. Everybody should develop bhakti and they should be able to hear and chant the glories of the Lord. So, like this, he gives an order to his son and finishes describing these details. Now, these were originally Parikshit Maharaj's questions to Shukdev Goswami, and through the conversation of Brahma and Narada, Shukadeva Goswami finished answering these questions. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, at this point his answers are also gotten, he should stop and Bhagavatam should end, right? But then Parikshit Maharaj has more questions. So in this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj is going to ask many, many, many more questions. And that's why this chapter is titled The Questions of Parikshit Maharaj. So in answer to these questions, the rest of the second canto and most of the third canto is spoken. Okay. So most of the third canto, even parts of fourth canto, to the point of even going up till the 10th canto and 11th canto and 12th canto, the answers go on and on. Actually, this chapter is crucial because these questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj is the trigger for the rest of the Bhagavatam to be spoken. That's what our acharyas conclude, that when you hear these questions, it will also trigger in your mind that you want to hear the answers. What Parikshit Maharaj has asked, you want to also hear the answers. And hearing the answers is nothing but hearing the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So here we go, the questions asked by King Parikshit Maharaj. So we'll get started with the very first verse. King Parikshit asks from Shukadeva Goswami. Let's see what he asks. Raja uvaच ब्रह्मणा चोदितो ब्रह्मन् गुणाख्याने अगुणस्य च यस्मै यस्मै यथा प्राह नारदो देवदर्शनः. So he says guna akhyane agunasya. Guna akhyana means he's telling him, please continue to recite the glories of the Lord. The Lord is full of various gunas, celebrated qualities. So he says you narrate these transcendental qualities of the Lord who is aguna. Aguna means without qualities. But here actually aguna means without material qualities. So the verses, the translation goes like this. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, how did Narada Muni, whose hearers are as fortunate as those instructed by Lord Brahma, explain the transcendental qualities of the Lord who is without material qualities, and for whom did he speak? So Raja is asking, Parikshit Maharaj is telling, this Narada Muni, he has a sect of disciples. He has a sect of listeners. Now these listeners who listen to Narada, they are very glorious. Just like how the listeners of Brahma are very glorious. So in the previous chapter, a task was given by his father. You go and spread the Srimad Bhagavatam to everybody. Go and speak the glories of the Lord to everybody. So what did he speak? To whom did he speak? How did Narada further disseminate this knowledge? That is the question. And let's see purport of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, Devarshi Narada was directly instructed by Brahma, and Brahma was directly instructed by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the knowledge that is given to Narada is through proper disciplic succession, right? So, if Narada heard from Brahma and Brahma heard from the Lord, then Narada is situated in perfect disciplic succession. So, this is how Vedic knowledge should be understood. It should come in the line of disciplic succession. And when it comes in the line of disciplic succession, that process is called as the descending process. So we should always receive Vedic knowledge not from mental speculators, but from the correct parampara. And this Narada Muni, when he goes and speaks the Bhagavatam, it has full authority because he is in the bona fide chain of disciplic succession of spiritual masters. So the knowledge that is given by Narada Muni is non-different from the knowledge that is given by the Supreme Lord himself. Prabhupada says, it will appear also that the Lord existed before the material creation, and therefore his transcendental name, quality, and so on, they do not represent any material quality. So the Lord is aguna, right? We saw that in the translation. Aguna means what? Not that he doesn't have any quality. It means that he doesn't have any material quality. The Lord is described as aguna without any material quality. Guna in general means qualities like Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattvaguna. But the Lord is beyond Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvaguna. He is in Shuddha Sattva state. So he is beyond the three qualities. He is not having the gunas like the conditioned living entity. But his qualities are transcendental. So these transcendental qualities of the Lord are to be sung, and Narada Muni goes on preaching the glories of the Lord. Okay, so now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि तत्त्वं तत्त्वविदाम्बर हरेरद्भुतवीर्यस्य कथालोकसुमङ्गलाः. Anyone would like to read translation?
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The king said, I wish to know narrations concerning the Lord who possesses wonderful potencies are certainly auspicious for living beings in all planets. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he wants to know not only the preaching exploits of Narad Muni, but he also wants to know the narrations concerning the Lord who possesses wonderful potencies. So, Adbhuta Viryasya, in the earlier shloka, we saw he's without gunas, right? He's without gunas, aguna. He doesn't have any qualities. Agunasya, that is what we saw about the Lord. In this verse, he is described as Adbhuta Viryasya. Adbhuta means extraordinary. Virya means all his potencies. So Adbhuta Viryasya. Who has Adbhuta Virya? It is Hari. Harehe Adbhuta Viryasya Kataloka Sumangalaha. So I want to hear the glories of the Lord, that is Sumangala. Sumangala means very, very auspicious. To whom auspicious? To the entire world, to all the lokas. Tattvam Tattva Vidamvara, I want to know about the Adbhuta Viryasya of Lord Hari, which is well versed from the people who are well versed in the absolute truth, who knows the Tattvam. Etad Veditum Ichchami Tattvam Tattva Vidamvara. So the Tattva Vidam, the one who knows the truth, I want to hear about the Lord from the one who knows the truth. Okay. So the king said, I want to know the narrations of the Lord who possesses wonderful qualities that is sung by the Tattvavidas, by the people who really know the truth. So I want to hear. Meaning, Shukadev Goswami is the person who knows the truth. So he's telling, I want to hear from you. That is what he's trying to mean here. Okay. So again, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the Srimad Bhagavatam. See, the instruction given by Brahma is to spread Srimad Bhagavatam to Narad Muni. So now Parikshit got very excited that he is going to, Narad Muni is going to spread this Bhagavatam everywhere. So Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know to whom all he spoke the Bhagavatam. And not only that, he also wanted to know the content. Tell me the Bhagavatam. That is what he's asking. Why? Because the Bhagavatam consists of the narrations of the Lord who possesses very wonderful potencies. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations of the activities of the Supreme Lord. So he wants to hear it. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very dear to the devotees of the Lord. It is Sumangala. It creates auspiciousness not only for devotees, but also for the non-devotees who are under the spell of material energy. So when they hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, they also get benefited when it comes through disciplic succession. So Sumangala Sarvaloka, for all the living entities, for all the planets, for everybody, Srimad Bhagavatam is auspicious. It is not auspicious just for one set of ISKCON devotees. It is auspicious for everybody. Okay. कथयस्व महाभाः यताहम् अखिलात्मनि कृष्णे निवेश्य निःसङ्गं मनस्तक्ष्ये कलेवरम्. O greatly fortunate Shukadev Goswami, please continue narrating Srimad Bhagavatam so that I can place my mind upon the Supreme Soul, Lord Krishna, and being completely freed from material qualities, thus relinquish this body. So he's telling that I have to give up this body. Takshye Kalevaram. Kalevaram means what? Body. So he's telling it's time. Yes, I have just 7 more days to give up this body. But then I want to spend these 7 days listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is about Krishna. Akilatmani Krishna. Krishna is the Lord of everybody, of all the living entities. He's the super soul in every single living entity. I want to hear about him and give up my body. So, this is the desire of Parikshit Maharaj. One second. Okay. So, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, to be fully engaged in hearing the narration described in Bhagavata means to be constantly associating with the Supreme Lord. And what does it mean to be constantly associating with Krishna? To be constantly associating with Krishna means to be liberated from the qualities of matter, which means as we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam with focus, with interest, then what happens? We are at a state of liberation. Okay, we are no more associating with material things because Lord Krishna is like the sun and material contamination is like darkness. So as soon as sun comes, what happens? Darkness immediately vanishes. So Krishna Surya Sama Maya Eya Andakar Yahan Krishna Tahanahi Mayera Adhikar. So if Krishna is there, then there is no question of darkness, there is no question of Maya. That means when you're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no question of touch of material qualities. Contamination of material qualities is actually the root cause of our birth and death in this material universe. But Parikshit Maharaj, he understands that in these 7 days also, if he has to be without the touch of material qualities and he has to stay in a state of liberated platform, then what should he do? He should continuously hear the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means Ante Narayana Smriti. He's continuously hearing about the Lord, and at the end of the life, he will remember the Supreme Lord. So Maharaj Parikshit, he had only 7 more days to live. And he decided these 7 days he will simply hear about the Lord. He will hear the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam and absorb his consciousness on the Supreme Lord and give up his body in a perfect condition in the perfect consciousness. So, this Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Parikshit Maharaj from a self-realized soul who was Shukadev Goswami. So generally, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada warns us that we should just not be hearing Bhagavatam from some professional men. Sometimes just for entertainment, actually, we just like to hear Bhagavatam. So, but if we are doing that, then it is, you will not reap the same benefit as what Parikshit Maharaj is reaping. Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard from self-realized souls and not by professional men. And especially one should consider hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from self-realized souls, and throughout his life he should make it a practice to hear like that, so that at the time of leaving his body he can get simply liberated by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, Parikshit Maharaj, he had given up all his connections at this point in time. He gave up his family connections, he had given up his attachment to the palace and everything. He just wanted to be free from bondage. So he came to the banks of the river Ganges and he sat with Shukadev Goswami and he heard from a self-realized soul so that at the last moments of his life he could perfect. So this is also a lesson for everybody, especially at the time of death. It is very, very important for us to somehow or the other focus our mind on Krishna, and the best method for that is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that the hearing sense is the last thing to go. Like as we are giving up our body, right? All the senses slowly they stop functioning. But then the sense of hearing takes a long time to leave us. So the best method, even if if meant, of course, you can mentally keep chanting the holy names. But even if you're not in that state, if you're hearing the Bhagavatam continuously, right? The verses of the Bhagavatam, the meaning of the Bhagavatam, the Padapadartha of the Bhagavatam, the verse by verse meanings, just the pastimes of Sri Krishna. That is the best way to quit your body. And we see that happening everywhere, even people who are in coma stage. Generally, there is a devotee who goes and reads Bhagavatam to them. So the verses of Bhagavatam, even if it is read in English, there is no harm, right? So well, it's not like you should just be reading the Sanskrit verses. That's not the point. The essence of the Bhagavatam should enter their ear. That is important. It is not just that sound vibration of that particular Sanskrit verse that is going to liberate you. It's not like that. It is the content. It is the content. So the content should be constantly going into your ear. And as we are hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, one should depart the world, like Srila Prabhupada, like Srila Prabhupada, right? So Bhagavatam is something that should be continuously heard. And of course, we should also, if possible, continuously chant the holy names of the Lord. And this is a very beautiful verse. And also, it is there for memorizing, if I'm not wrong. I remember seeing this in the handbook also because it's a famous verse. This is not there, I think. But fourth is there for sure. 4, 5, 6 is very famous. So I'll just read this verse once and then we can take turns. You can raise hands and also read, because in the class itself you can practice and memorize the verse instead of waiting for a time to memorize the verse and then sending the recording. Rather, now itself, if you hear it 10 times, the verse will get memorized right away. Okay, so please raise your hands. शृण्वत श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं कालेन नातिदीर्घेन भगवान् विशते हरि. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I read? शृण्वता श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं कालेन नातिदीर्घेन भगवान् विशते हृदि.
Yeah, anyone else? Prahladānanda Prabhu.
शृण्वतः श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं कालेन नातिदीर्घेण भगवान् विस्तरति. हरि बोल.
Thank you, Prabhu. Whoever is iPad.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tanva pranams. Shranvatah Shraddhaya Nityam Granatascha Swachestitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Mm.
शृण्वता श्रद्धया नित्यं गृणतश्च स्वचेष्टितं कालेनातिदीर्घेण भगवान् विशते हृदि.
Very good. Namras Chaitanya Prabhu. Wow.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Srivata Sadaya Nityam Grinatascha Swatestitam Kalina Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Visatirdi. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you. Padmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I am out of Chennai, so I'm not able to see this much in this area. So I will read Mataji, but from what you have suggested, I don't know whether I can do it properly. Shanveta Shridya Nityam Grantascha Sistitam Kalena Nitya Grahena Bhagavan Veste Hridi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
The light is very poor. I can't see much, Mataji. I don't have the book.
Thank you so much, Mataji. It's just the intention that matters. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Mataji. I got up in the morning. I'm in a lodge, so the light and other things are people.
Hari Hari. So amazing. You're so inspiring, Mataji, for all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. Shrinvataha means to hear. Shraddha, with Shraddha, Nityam, every single day, or continuously, or regularly, at least once a day. Okay. Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. Granatas. Granatas means grahan karna. Grahanam. It means to, absorb it within yourself. Right? Just hearing is one thing, but also absorbing what you're hearing. That is very important. Sometimes we hear, but we have no idea what we have heard. The next second we forget. Right? It goes from one ear and gets out from the other ear. But here the verse says, you should hear with earnestness. Shranvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. Very regularly. It's not that we hear with earnestness one day and then after 100 days we come back to Srimad Bhagavatam. We should hear every day or at least regularly. That's the idea. Prabhupada says once a day at least. Even if we are not able to accomplish it that way because of so many reasons, we can try to bring back our mind and interest into Srimad Bhagavatam as much as possible. Shrinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam. Grhanatas. Grhanatas means, like I mentioned, taking the matter inside, absorbing it. Chasva cheshtitam. By your own cheshta. Cheshta means endeavor, right? In Bhagavad Gita also you have read it as one of the causes of action. Cheshta, your endeavor. So, grhanatas cha swacheshtitam, by your own endeavor. Kalena na atidhirghena bhagavan vishate prati. So this Bhagavan, he will appear in your heart. He'll become manifest. Bhagavan Vishate, where? In your hridi, in your heart. Kalena nati dirghena. Not after a very, very long duration of time, but very quickly. Very, very quickly. Na ati dirghena. Not after a very long time, but very quickly. Not after a prolonged time. Very quickly, he will become manifest in your heart. If you hear the Bhagavatam with Shraddha regularly and absorb the matter by your endeavor. Okay, so that is what this translation is telling. It's a beautiful verse. Persons who hear the Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead manifested in their hearts within a short period of time. Not a long period of time, but short period of time. So when we say cheshta, it doesn't mean that only by my endeavor I'm hearing, I'm absorbing, and Krishna is manifesting in my heart. It's not like that. It is by Krishna's mercy only, of course. But we should put our endeavor. That is the understanding. Okay, it's not that because of my endeavor, Krishna got manifested in my heart. The cause of Krishna manifesting in your heart is because of his mercy. But he will look at your endeavor. We have to take the endeavor. We have to take the step. Right? So, if we hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, we are always taking the matter very seriously, we will definitely have Krishna manifest in the lotus of our hearts within a short period of time. Okay? So now Prabhupada, in the purport, he says, there are many cheap devotees or materialistic devotees who are wanting to see the Supreme Lord without meeting the prerequisite qualities. To see the Lord, it is not a cheap thing, right? If we have a lot of material attachment, Prabhupada says, and you expect to see the Lord face to face, how will it happen? It is not a mechanical process. It is not like I did XYZ, so you have to reveal yourself to me. It is not like that. It is not a mechanical process. You might be listening to some professional Bhagavatam reciter who might not be very clean in heart. So just because I heard Bhagavatam, it doesn't entail that Krishna should reveal himself to you directly. There is no such rule. The idea is we should hear Bhagavatam with utmost sincerity from a relevant source, from an authorized source, and we should absorb the matter, absorb the essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam, put it into practice, and hear it regularly with sincerity and with our effort. Then we will be able to see Krishna manifest in our heart by Krishna's mercy. But however, if a pseudo devotee is very, very anxious to see Krishna according to his own whims and fancies, without any serious effort, without any detachment from material profits, then he cannot have Krishna manifest in his heart. Okay, so Parikshit Maharaj, he had all these qualities. How did Parikshit Maharaj perfect his life? By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody is hearing Bhagavatam, right? So many of us are hearing. But this is the verse that we should memorize. This is the verse we should always cross check every day. When I'm hearing Bhagavatam, am I doing this? Shrinvata Shraddhaya, full faith. Nityam, regularly. Granatas, am I absorbing it? Am I putting some effort? And then by His mercy, am I doing something to attract His mercy? Then by His mercy, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi, He will manifest Himself within our hearts. So this is the way to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. If we hear Srimad Bhagavatam like this, then Krishna will be manifest in our hearts like how He did for Parikshit Maharaj. Next verse is also for memorization. So I will read the verse and then you all can read the verse. Please raise hands. And more we chant on the call, it's easier to memorize because you'll keep hearing that, right? As you keep hearing, memorization becomes easy. Pravishtah karnarandhrena swanam bhava saroruham dhunoti shamalam krishna salilasya yata sharat. Saudamani Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा शरत्. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, ma'am. Praladanand.
धन्यवाद प्रविष्टः कर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां सरोरुहं धुनोति समलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा सरत्. हरि ओम्.
Hari, very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Namras Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji. Parvista Karnaratrena Swanam Vava Saruram Dhunati Shamalam Krishna Saileshya Yata Sarat.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
प्रविष्टः कर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति शमलं कृष्णः सलिलस्य यथा शरत्.
Thank you, Mataji. iPad.
Shall
Hare
I try,
Krishna,
Mataji?
Mataji.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, Mataji. I don't know why it's showing iPad. This is Nisha.
No problem. Sorry, Nisha Mataji. I
That's
also
fine.
keep calling you iPad.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
please.
Thank you. Pravishtah karnarandrena swanam bhava saroruham dhunoti samalam krishnaha salilasya yatha sarad. Hare Krishna.
Hari. Thank you, Rupal Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानां भावसरोरुहं धुनोति समलं कृष्ण सलिलस्य यथा शरत्.
Hari, Padmini Mataji.
प्रविष्टकर्णरन्ध्रेण स्वानं भावसरोरुहं धुनोति समलं कृष्ण सलस्य यथा शरत्.
Hari bol. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Pravishtah karnarandhrena. Pravishtha means to enter. Into what? Into your karna. Karna you all know is ears. Karna randhrena, holes of the ears. According to your own position, bhava, you all know what bhava is. It's a feeling, right, of love. So constitutional relationship that you have with Krishna. Saroruham. Saroruha is a flower, lotus flower that is born from that is seen on the surface of the river. That is Saroruham, which is the lotus flower. So here it is said, when the sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam, when it enters the ear through the ear holes, according to one's constitutional position, the lotus, wait, let's actually do the translation and then I will go step by step. Otherwise, I'm messing up the translation. The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus, it acts, look at this beautiful analogy. Thus, it acts like an autumnal rain upon pools of muddy water. So what's happening? Something is entering your ear. Karnarandhrena. What is entering? What is entering? This Srimad Bhagavatam, right? The words of Srimad Bhagavatam, this vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, it enters into your heart through the holes of the ears. And once it enters, what happens? It sits in your heart. Like in the previous verse, we saw it's not enough if you just hear, you should also grihan, you should also absorb it, right? That's what we saw in the previous verse. So this verse is a continuation. It is telling, as you are hearing, the vibrations are going inside our ear, and then where does it have to go? If you have to absorb, it has to go to your heart. So it is going and sitting on the lotus flower in your heart. In that lotus flower, what do you have? You have that loving relationship with Krishna that you're trying to develop. So the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, they enter your ear, they go and sit on the lotus flower of this loving relationship that you are developing for Krishna. And what does it do? Does it just go sit? No, it also starts cleaning up that heart. Why does the heart need cleaning? It needs cleaning because of the dust of material association, shamalam. So much mala is there. Mala means dirt. So much dirt is there. What are the dirts? What is the dirt in the heart? Is it like you have some fungus or something in the heart? It's not that. What is the fungus, bacteria, virus that is sitting in the heart? It is the dirt of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. That is the dirt in the heart, right? So what happens? These words of Bhagavatam, they go to the lotus of the heart and they start cleaning up the dust of material association like lust, anger, and hankering. This cleansing process is compared to the fall of autumn rain in a river or a pool. Now, Prabhupada, he gives a difference. Chakravarti Pad also gives a difference between two kinds of rains. This autumn rain is supposed to be very mild. It is not like the rain in the rainy season, where sometimes when you see during rainy season, all the water bodies, they become more and more muddy. There is a nice waterfalls here in Atlanta. And I love to go to that place. It's very beautiful. It's like our local Niagara. Very beautiful. It's a dam, basically. It's not a natural waterfalls. It's an artificial dam. But it's my favorite spot. So anyone who comes to Atlanta, I take them there. And then I like to go and watch that beautiful waterfalls. That waterfalls, if you go in rainy season, when there is heavy rains, heavy floods of rains, it is literally brown in color, that entire waterfalls. It becomes completely brown. Why? Because the rain, that heavy gush of rain, it stirs up the mud and it becomes more muddy. The entire water looks like a brown color water stream. The waterfall is also brownish in color. But if you go when the rainfall is mild and clearing, like the autumn rains, at that time it sparkles, the water sparkles. It looks very beautiful, very shiny, very white. So that's why the specific comparison given in Srimad Bhagavatam is the autumn rain, Sharat season. That rain in the Sharat season, that is given. Yata Sharat. Salila means water, moving water, or you can say even a pond of water, reservoir of water. Yata Sharat. In the Sharat season, how it gets cleared up, like that, this beautiful melodious Srimad Bhagavatam, these wonderful purifying words of Srimad Bhagavatam, as it enters our Karnarandhra, it goes into the seat of our heart where there is a beautiful lotus that is trying to develop this Bhavat Krishna, but it is all contaminated by Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. But then as these words, they enter that lotus flower, they start the cleaning up process. And this lotus becomes bright and beautiful like the river during autumn rains. So that is what this verse is telling. Very beautiful verse. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, it is said that a single pure devotee of the Lord can deliver all the fallen souls in this world. So beautiful, right? Srila Prabhupada, just one Prabhupada. He delivered everybody. A single pure devotee of the Lord can deliver all the fallen souls of the world. Thus, one who is actually in the confidence of a pure devotee like Narada or Shukdev Goswami is empowered by his spiritual master. Narada was empowered by Brahma, and he can easily deliver anyone from the clutches of Maya. He's like that autumnal rain, because he's speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. He has the potency of that autumnal rain. So when that autumnal rain falls on the muddy reservoirs, the water gets cleansed. As opposed to during rainy season, how the waters become very muddy. In the month of July, August, in the autumn season, there is slight rainfall. So the muddy waters of the rivers all over the world becomes at once clear. Now he says, in contrast, if you try to add some chemical to a small reservoir, yes, some metropolitan water tanks can be cleared. But then by such a tiny effort, it is not possible to clear up all the reservoirs of waters like rivers. But a powerful devotee of the Lord, however, can deliver not only his personal self, but also so many others in his association. So he is like that autumnal rain. He has the power of that autumnal rain. So by the power of that autumnal rain, he's speaking words of Srimad Bhagavatam that is entering your ears and reaching your heart. Then definitely that heart will get cleansed. Okay, so it's a very nice comparison. And oh, I stopped sharing my screen. Okay, yeah, okay, you can see. Yeah. So this is a verse that, yeah, continuing this purport. So Prabhupada continues, in other words, the cleansing of the polluted heart by other means, like developing jnana or doing dhyana, all this by your own endeavor may not be able to clean the heart completely. Only when the autumnal rain of the words of a pure devotee invokes bhakti in the heart, that is when the heart can get cleansed. So we need the mercy of devotees like Narada, Shukdev Goswami, Lord Chaitanya, and others. That's what Prabhupada is saying. 6 Goswami, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada himself, and so on. Chakravarti Pad also talks about water that is kept in a place and it starts settling down. Like, for example, you have some muddy water and you allow it to sit there for a while and you allow it to settle down. Over a period of time, what will happen is only the top part of that tank will be clear water, but all the mud is settled in the bottom. Now, with a little agitation, what will happen? The whole water will become muddy. This is like the process of jnana and dhyana, says Chakravarti Pad. So he says this processes of jnana and dhyana is all by your own endeavor, right? There is no mercy of a pure devotee speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam and so on. So when we are doing these processes, it is like that sediment tank where the dirt has settled below. But then with a little agitation, with a little bit of diversion, our senses start going on a shopping spree and the whole water gets contaminated. But then if you hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure devotee, that is like autumnal rain, there is no question of the dirt getting stirred up. So this is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So purification of the heart by culture of knowledge or mystic yoga might be all right for the time being, but it is like cleansing a small quantity of stagnant water by a chemical process. Such clarification of water may stand for the time being and the sediments will settle down. But then with a slight agitation, again everything will become muddy. Therefore, this idea of devotional service of the Lord is actually the one and only method to clean the heart for good. So there might be so many other methods, but then there is always a risk of becoming muddy again because the mind can easily get agitated. So devotional service, specifically hearing with attention, continuously, regularly, Srimad Bhagavatam from the mouth of a pure devotee is the best recommended method for liberation from the clutches of illusion. This is the verdict of Srila Prabhupada. I see some hand raised. Anyone wanted to ask something? Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji has shared a very nice verse. Praladananda Prabhu has shared a very beautiful verse.
Yes, Mataji, the same thing Bhagavan Krishna is telling in the 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Bhavami na chirat partha. That is, kale na ati dirghen. It doesn't take long for devotees. And for those who are jnanis, bahunam janmanamante gnanvan mam prabhati. That's what contrast like that. So, as you said, bhakti is the easiest process and it requires our effort. Bhagavan Krishna will respond. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tansadev bhajamyam. He also says like in Bhagavad Gita. So he's giving us so much assurance that he will deliver us very swiftly, provided we follow in Mahajanayana Gata Sapanta. So that's a little sharing I wanted to do, Prabhu Mata.
Hari, beautiful Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the next verse is also for memorization. So we'll do this verse and then please raise hands and please try to chant as much as possible. Yeah, this is also there for memorization. These 3 verses are important in this chapter. And the good news is after this, we have the Chatashloki verses which you have to memorize. After that, no more verses because then you'll hit chapter 10 and the canto gets over. Okay, so this is the last verse in this chapter that is there for memorizing. Dautatma Purusha Krishna Pada Moolam na Munchati Mukta Sarva Parikleshaha Panta Swasharanam Yata. Anybody would like to recite? Sorry.
Hare Krishna Mataji. धौतात्मा पुरुष कृष्ण पादमूलं न मुञ्चति मुक्त सर्वपरिक्लेशः पान्थ स्वशरणं यथा. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else? Rupal?
Can I try, Mataji?
Hare, okay.
Go ahead.
Mataji, I am supposed to read or?
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. Tutatma Purusha Krishna Padamulam, no, sorry, Padamulam Namunikshati Mukta Pariklesha Patasa Saranam Yatha.
Thank you, Mataji. Rupal Mataji?
Hare Krishna. धूतात्मा पुरुष कृष्ण पादमूलं न मुञ्चति मुक्त सर्व परिक्लेश पान्थ स्वशरणं यथा.
Thank you. Anisha Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhautatma Purushaha Krishna Padamulam Namunchati Mukta Sarva Pariklesha Pantaha Swasranam Yatha Sharanam Yatha. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Praladananda Prabhu.
Dhautatma Purusha Krishna Padamulam Namunchati Mukta Sarva Pariklesha Pantaha Swasaranam Yatha. Hariva.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol. Dautatma. So it's a process, right? We are seeing the process step by step. So 2 verses before we saw we should hear and then absorb. Then we saw the process of really how you should hear, how it enters the whole, how it sits on your heart, how it cleanses your heart, and then how the process of cleansing really happens. That we saw. Now continuing. Now that the heart is cleansed, Dautatma, now cleansing process, Dohan, right? Clean it up. So Dautatma, Purusha Krishna, Padamulam na munchati. For such a cleansed hearted person whose heart is cleansed, Padamulam na munchati. Whose Padamulam? Krishna Padamulam na munchati. So he doesn't give up the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Mukta sarva parikleshaha. There are so many kleshas, so many miseries of life. He becomes liberated. Mukta sarva pariklesha panthasva sharanam yata. This is a comparison, just like how the previous verse, we had a comparison of the autumnal rain. Similarly, in this verse, we have the comparison of a person who has come home after a long journey. Many of you, summer season, or many of you might have gone to India and returned. How did you feel when you came back home? Right? It would have been such a relief after this long travel of 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever travel you did. You might have gone from one place to the other, from one dham to the other, from one house to the other, from one hotel to the other. After all this, how would you feel when you just come back home, drop your bags and sit on your couch? You feel such a sense of relief, right? You don't want to hanker for anything more. That is how you will feel when you have taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord with your heart cleansed. A pure devotee of the Lord whose heart has been cleansed by the process of devotional service never relinquishes the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He never gives up. He cannot give up the lotus feet of Krishna. He has acquired it with so much hankering, right? And these lotus feet, they fully satisfy him. Why does he not want to give up these lotus feet? Because it fully satisfies him. He doesn't want to look back. It is giving him everything that he needs. Just like how a traveler is fully satisfied at home after a troublesome journey. So this is the nature of a bhakta, of a devotee. Now that his heart is cleansed and he is feeling very happy, he has caught the lotus feet of the Lord in his heart. Now, holding on to that lotus feet has given him everything. That Padamulam, it has everything, all that he's hankering for. So he's in a liberated state. He's completely satisfied and he doesn't want anything more. That is like the pinnacle of all that he has desired. So he's achieved the lotus feet of the Lord. Swasharanam yata. Just like how a traveler, a pantha, one who has traveled to so many different places, has come to his own abode. How he feels relief? Like that, and he doesn't want to leave that couch. Like that, this person won't leave the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is the purport. One who is not a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord cannot be completely cleansed in the heart. Now here is a point. The point here is, okay, Krishna's words, they have entered your ears, they have entered your heart, they are cleansed your heart of all the anarthas, blah, blah, blah. We saw all this entire process. But then the catch is, if we are not pure, a pure devotee, one who's not a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord cannot be completely cleansed in heart. The inner meaning is, when aparads happen, it is very, very difficult for us to catch on to the lotus feet of the Lord in our hearts. It is very difficult. That's why it is said, you might have many, many anarthas. All of us are conditioned living entities, and we have so many different anarthas. So when we are hearing the glories of the Lord, actually these anarthas should vanquish and we should develop love for God. That is the process, right? But then when we read statements like this, one who's not a pure devotee of the Lord cannot be completely cleansed in the heart. The whole idea of hearing Bhagavatam is to cleanse your heart. But then if I'm not a pure devotee, then my heart cannot be cleansed. Is that the understanding? That is not the understanding. The understanding is, but Prabhupada continues, a perfectly cleansed person never quits devotional service of the Lord. In discharging such devotional service as ordered by Brahmaji to Narada in the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes a representative of the Lord engaged in preaching work meets so many so-called difficulties. So the point here is that you are hearing Bhagavad Gita from somebody, and your heart is getting cleansed. But one thing that will never help you hold on to the process of devotional service, or something that will not make you attached to the process of devotional service or lose taste in the process of devotional service, in spite of listening so much, is if there is what is called Vaishnava Aparad. So an aparadi cannot taste devotional service. This is the conclusion of this purport. This is also the conclusion of what the commentaries say. When we say that our heart gets cleansed and we develop taste for devotional service, we want to hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord, etc. This may not happen to some people who have performed certain offenses. Because of the power of that offense, they are not able to taste devotional service. That is the only reason why a person will not be able to taste devotional service. Anarthas will get cleansed. Anarthas, ultimately, it is all there with all of us. Okay, we are all not perfect devotees. It will all get cleansed over a period of time as we are hearing and hearing. But what makes us an impure devotee, it is not the anarthas that we have. Rather, it is the aparad that one makes. Okay, this is again clarified towards the end of the purport. So the point is, if we are losing taste in devotional service, if we are not able to hear and chant properly, then it is telling us that just take a moment, reflect, see if you have made some mistake towards somebody, and then get it rectified. Once that is done, then Krishna again allows you to taste devotional service. Okay. So with that understanding, let's continue what Srila Prabhupada is telling. Prabhupada says that in discharging devotional service for the preacher like Sri Narad Muni, Narada Muni also went through many difficulties. Similarly, when Nityananda Prabhu also, he wanted to go and preach what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered him to preach, he had to deal with fallen souls like Jaga and Madai. Similarly, Jesus Christ, he was crucified by the non-believers. So such difficulties are faced by the devotees who are trying to preach on behalf of the Lord. So you see, Prahlad Maharaj also, he suffered very greatly because of the pressure that was put by his father. Now, all these devotees, though they were going through so much difficulty in trying to spread the word of the Lord, at no point in time did they forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he went through so much just because he wanted to come here and give us Krishna consciousness. What did he not go through? He went through stroke, he went through attacks, he went through people robbing him off, he went through so many different problems, staying in a foreign country without any money. He went through all sorts of problems. Every time he would think, I will go back to India today, right? So he went through so much. But then at no point in time did any of these devotees want to leave the shelter of Krishna. That is the nature of a pure devotee. So, the progress of culturing knowledge by the jnanis and bodily gymnastics by the yogis are ultimately given up by the respective performers because they are simply harboring on their own capabilities. But a devotee of the Lord, he becomes so attached to the Lord that he cannot give up the devotional service of the Lord because this was an order by his spiritual master. Pure devotees like Narada and Nityananda Prabhu, they take up the order of their spiritual master as their life and soul. And they don't care about their own personal inconveniences. They don't worry about the future of their lives. They just take the order very seriously and they go and spread Krishna consciousness to everyone. So, this is the power of a pure devotee. So, if we are progressing in Krishna consciousness, whatever impediment may come in the path of our Krishna consciousness, whether it is in our material life or spiritual life, whatever impediment may come, we should strive to stay rooted in Krishna consciousness. If we are giving up Krishna consciousness in the name of having some other worry, then we have to take a break, we have to reflect, we have to see where something went wrong, go rectify that, and somehow or the other go back to the path of devotional service. Because devotional service is the only thing that is most pleasing to the heart. A pure devotee of the Lord is exactly in a family tie with the Lord. So he is undeterred in discharging his duty. He's always affectionate with the Lord. The traveler example is given here. Just like how when a traveler goes to many different places. A traveler leaves home to search for wealth in far distant places. Sometimes he's in the forest, sometimes in the ocean, sometimes in hilltops. Certainly, there are many troubles for the traveler when he's in such unknown places. But all such troubles are once mitigated as soon as he senses that his family affection is there. When he remembers his family and he returns home, he forgets all the troubles that he has hankered on his way. This is the analogy that is given. So there are two things here. One is you should stick on to devotional service. If you are losing taste in devotional service, we have to introspect and fix it, first thing. Secondly, a pure devotee who has really tasted devotional service will actually never leave devotional service. Okay, irrespective of whatever circumstances he is in his material or spiritual life, there will be a lot of hurdles. Taking up bhakti, practicing bhakti is not easy. Whether you're a preacher or you're a practitioner, whoever you may be, hurdles are going to be there. It is not going to be a smooth ride. Just because you've taken into bhakti, process of bhakti, doesn't mean your life will be full of bed of roses. It's not like that. It is going to be full of different twists and turns and hurdles. But still, one should endeavor to continue practicing devotional service, taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. And this lotus feet of the Lord will give relief from all situations, just like how a person who has traveled in so many different paths, finally, when he comes home, when he feels the affection of his family and feels the comfort of his house, the feeling that he gets, right? That's the exact feeling one will get once he has sought and tasted the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, he will not look further at any other place. So those were the three verses. Yes, Prahladananda, please.
Dandapanan Mata. I heard in this connection, I think Gaur Krishnadas Goswami Maharaj, who was disciple of Radha Govind Swami Maharaj, in one of his lectures, he says, Dhautatma Purusha. So who is Dhautatma? Who has become Nishpap. Right? There is no sin in his heart now. Right? And then he's quoting this slok. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moh nirmukta bhajante mam dradabrata. So he says that, whether you have become nispap or not, you can check whether you are dradvrata or not. So if you are dradvrata in your chanting and in your bhakti, whichever rules you are following, if you are dradvrata, then proportionally you are nispap.
Determination should be there, yes.
Yeah, like that. So that's what
irrespective of situations, yeah.
Right. And that's what he was emphasizing, that we should become dhrad vrata, that much we will be nispap. And then we will be able to catch Lord Krishna's feet. Dhautatma Purusa Krishna Padmulam Namuchyate. Like that. So I just wanted to share that, Mata. Hariva.
Beautiful. That's so nice, Prabhu. So beautiful. That is also a good check, right? The more we are progressing in Krishna consciousness, irrespective of the situation, if we are very determined, the more clear we are, the more clean we are, the more Dhautatma we are. Yeah, that's what Prabhu is mentioning. So beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay. So continuing, let's see what else is happening here. I think he's going to ask us questions. Okay, let's see this. Yet adhatu mato brahman deharambo asya dhatubihi yadrichaya hetuna va bhavanto janate yata. Anyone would like to try translation?
Hare Krishna Mataji. O learned Brahmana, the transcendental spirit soul is different from the material body. Does he acquire the body accidentally or by some cause? Will you kindly explain this, for it is known to you? Hare Krishna.
Hare. So now he continues to ask very pertinent questions. Initially, he asked about the preaching exploits of Narada, and then he wanted to hear more and more glories of the Lord of Adbhuta Karmana. He has so many great glories. Please tell me about his glories. He's asking all this, and Parikshit Maharaj also realizes he just has 7 days, and those 7 days he has to really hear Srimad Bhagavatam perfectly, and he has to clean his heart, and he has to attain perfection, holding the lotus feet of the Lord. So now he has understood all this. Now he has a very simple, basic question. I am stuck in this body. right? I'm stuck in this body and I've been told I have only 7 days to live. So, is the spirit different from the body? What happens after death? Is the spirit going to move on? Or is the spirit the same as the body? Does he acquire the body accidentally or by some cause? Why did I get this body in the first place? So, will you explain this? He asks. Right? A very important, very pertinent question to ask. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada, this is the first lesson that we learn. You're not the body, you're the soul. This is the first lesson of the Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada, in every lecture, he makes it a point to tell you this basic principle, which is so difficult for us to actually apply on a day-to-day basis, because we always think we are the body only. That's how we behave. Though we know theoretically we are not the body, how much have we implemented it to the point that we have the understanding I'm spirit soul? Not really. So this has to be heard again and again. So now Parikshit Maharaj, he's on the verge of death and he really wants to know what is soul, what is body, why did I get this body in the first place? So he asks, is the transcendental spirit soul different from the material body? Is it different? Is the Deha and the Brahma different, meaning the spirit soul and the body different? Did I get this body because of some hetu, by some cause? What made me get this body? Or was it just a random accident, yadrichaya? By chance did I get the body? So please explain this to me. So let's see Prabhupada's purport. See, now the questions are getting more and more by Parikshit Maharaj, and this chapter is also titled The Questions of Parikshit Maharaj. So he has so many questions, and all these questions will flow as the content of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, Shukdev Goswami is going to sing the glories of Adbhuta Karmana, the great glories of the Lord. He's going to sing that. He's going to speak about the preaching exploits of Narad Muni as well throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. But through the Bhagavatam, he is also going to answer these various questions of Parikshit Maharaj that he asks from verses 7 through 23. How did this jiva, who's spiritual, attain a body which is material? Okay, in essence, that is the question he's asking. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit, who's a typical devotee, he is not satisfied by just hearing the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam and all this knowledge, right, that is being told about the philosophical sections of the Bhagavatam. He understands all this, but the point is he wants to know for himself his situation. He wants to know about himself. See, I am the spirit soul. I have a body. What am I? What is going to happen to me? He's very, very anxious to understand the philosophy of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of the Supreme Lord. But one should definitely first understand who he is. So, a person on the path of devotional service may inquire from a spiritual master about the position of God. But from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we should understand that we living entities and God are qualitatively one. But the Lord is definitely different from the living entity. We are subject to various transmigrations from one body to the other. So we are different from the Lord. If we are different from the Lord, then what is the cause of the material embodiment of this part and parcel, this tiny fragment of the Lord? So Parikshit Maharaj, he asks a very important question for the benefit of everybody. So Supreme Lord, he doesn't have changing body. But we, being conditioned souls, being simple fragments of the Supreme Lord, we are moving from one body to the other. So is the body and the soul different? And what is the cause of this transmigration? So this is very, very important question. And generally these questions should be asked to a spiritual master. Especially Prabhupada says in the process of devotional service, the first step is to take shelter of a spiritual master and inquire from him submissively about the process. And the process begins with the identification of who you are, where you're not the body or the spirit soul. So a person like Parikshit Maharaj inquires from his spiritual master about the science of self-realization, who he is, what is the body, and so on. So thus, one who is not well versed in the authorized scriptures cannot answer such relevant queries as posed by Parikshit Maharaj. So Shukadev Goswami is also a great spiritual master. He has the capability of delivering his disciple. So the right question has been asked by the right disciple to the right spiritual master. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. So let's continue with the next question of Parikshit. Now that he wants to know about himself, why he has taken this body, why he's transmigrating from one body to the other. Now he wants to know about the Lord. Is the Lord and the living entity the same? Does Krishna also transmigrate from one body to the other? What makes him different from me? That is the next question. Tulsi Gopi Mataji, please ask.
I think Nishtha would like to read after the Sanskrit.
Yes. आसीद्यदुदरात् पद्मं लोकसंस्थानलक्षणं यावन्नयं वै पुरुष इयत्था व्यवहै पृथक् तावन्नासौ इति प्रोक्त संस्था अव्ययवानिव निष्ठा
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Translation. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is possessed of a gigantic body according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities?
What do you think is the difference between the body of the Lord and the living entity, Nishtha?
The body of the Lord is spiritual and like it won't they won't die or like.
Right. Yeah. And what about us?
And then for us, our body dies and we move to another body.
Haribol, look at you, scholar. Beautiful. Thank you so much for answering. Thank you. So, like Nishta said, Prabhupada also says the same thing in the purport. He says, we should note how Maharaj Parikshit has intelligently put a question before his spiritual master. It is described in so many places before this, especially in the second canto itself. We have seen how the Lord assumed a gigantic body, like the Karnodakshay Vishnu, from whose hair pores so many universes got generated. We heard about Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from whose navel lotus emanated, and on the flower Lord Brahma was born. So, like this, for creation, the Lord has assumed gigantic bodies, and the living entities also. We also get various bodies. Sometimes our bodies are big, sometimes small, sometimes we are in the body of an elephant, sometimes we are in the body of a cockroach, sometimes we are in the body of a mosquito, sometimes we are in the body of a lion or a human being. So we also get so many different bodies. For example, the elephant gets a gigantic body according to his needs, and an ant gets a body according to his needs. Similarly, the personality of Godhead assumes a gigantic body to accommodate the universes or planets of a particular universe. Then there is no difference in the principle of assuming or accepting a particular body in terms of necessity. So, a living entity and the Lord actually cannot be distinguished simply by difference in magnitude of body. So, the answer depends on the specific significance of the body of the Lord as distinguished from the body of a common living entity. So, the point here is one may think that did Mahavishnu or Kshirodakshai Vishnu or this Garbhodakshai Vishnu, because of a necessity, did he take a body? Because he had to create this universe, there was this necessity, so he got that body. But otherwise, he's also a conditioned living entity. In some other birth, he will take a different body, and he'll also transmigrate from one body to the other. So just like how I might take an elephant body or I might take a human body depending on my needs, right? So this is the question he's asking. And like Nishtha said, the answer is that the Lord is always transcendental. Doesn't matter whether he comes as Rama or Krishna or Varaha or Narsimha or Matsya, Kurma, whatever form he may be, or he may be Karnodakashayi Vishnu, or he may be Lord Hari who came to save Gajendra, whoever he may be. Whoever he may be, he's just taking bodies not out of force or because of a particular reason, or he's been pushed into that body to accomplish a particular task. It's not like that. He is always transcendental. But this is a very pertinent question that is asked by Parikshit Maharaj. Both the Lord and the common living entities assume bodies. What is the specific difference between them? He's asking. What was the first question he asked before this? He asked, how did the Jiva, who is spiritual, attain a body which is material, and how did he transmigrate? Second is, both the Lord and the common living entities assume so many different kinds of bodies. So what is really the difference between the two of us? Krishna is also having so many varieties of bodies that he's taking. So are we the same or are we different? Next. Ajaha shrujati bhutani bhutatma yadanugrahat tadarsheyena yat tatrupam nabhi patma samudbhava. Anyone for translation? Brahma, who was not born of material source, but of the lotus flower coming out of the navel abdomen of the Lord, is the creator of all those who are materially born. Of course, by the grace of the Lord, Brahma was able to see the form of the Lord. So Brahma appeared from the navel of the Lord. Is the form of the Lord similar to that of the material body of Brahma, or is it different? Next question. First, he was asking about himself. Next, he asked about the Lord. Then he thought, okay, Brahma came from the navel of the Lord. So is Brahma's body and the Lord's body the same? Is it similar? That is the next question. Brahma, he was not born of a material source. He's called as Aja. Aja means one who's self-born, right? Was born without a material source. That is called as Aja. Without birth. Aja is one who doesn't have a birth. Birth means through coming through material process of birth. He came through a lotus flower, right, from the abdomen of the Lord. So he's called as Aja. He doesn't have birth because of a material source. So is Brahma's body also similar to that of the Lord's body? That is the question. So purport. The first living creature, Brahma, is called as Aja. Why is he called Aja? He's called Aja because he did not take birth from the womb of a mother. He was directly born from the bodily expansion of the Lord. Okay, meaning from the lotus flower of the Lord. So, are they of the same quality or are they different? This also should be understood very clearly. Because when Brahma was born, he was actually dependent on the mercy of the Lord. He was looking out for the Lord. He didn't understand how he came into existence. He was very eager to see the form of the Lord. So then, is the form of the Lord that is seen by Brahma the same as his body, or is it different? So Parikshit Maharaj, he wanted clarity. So he's asking Shukadev Goswami. Next question is also connected. We will read that question. Oh, we have time. Good. Sachapi yatra purusho vishvasthiti ubhavapayah muktvatma mayam mayeshaha shete sarva guhashraya. Anyone for translation?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Please also explain the personality of Godhead who lies in every heart as the supreme soul, as the super soul, and as the Lord of all energies, but is untouched by his external energy.
He's asking about
Hare
who?
Krishna. Personality of Godhead.
Specifically, who is the super soul, right?
Super soul.
Explain.
Yes.
So he's asking about the super soul. Because the super soul, where is he? He's with the living entity. The living entity has a body. The living entity is covered by Maya. So is the super soul also covered by Maya? That is the question. Undoubtedly, the form of the Lord who was seen by Brahma must have been transcendental. Otherwise, how could he simply look upon creative energy without being touched? It is also understood that the same Purusha lies in the heart of every living entity. So this also requires a proper explanation. That same Lord, if he's sitting in our heart, is he also covered by Maya or is he untouched by material energy? That is the next question. Okay. So he is asked about, first of all, the jiva, whether the spirit and the body is different or not. Secondly, he is asked about the Supreme Lord. He is also assuming various bodies and different sizes. I am also assuming various bodies and different sizes. Are we the same? Then he asks about Brahma and the Lord. Are they the same? Because he is also Aja. Your Lord is also Aja. So what is the difference between the two of them? Then he asks about Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Where does he lie? This master of Maya. Is he affected by Maya? He's not. Okay, if he's not affected by Maya, where does he lie? Where is he actually existing? How is he existing? That is the next question. And text number 11. Let's see. This is all in the same section. Text number 11. पुरुषावयोरैव लोकाः सपालः पूर्वकल्पिता लोकैरमुष्या वयः सपालैर् इति सुश्रुमा. Anybody for translation?
Hare Krishna,
May I read,
Mataji.
Mata?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. O learned Brahmana, it was formally explained that all the planets of the universe, with their respective governors, are situated in the different parts of the gigantic body of the Virat Purus. I have also heard that the different planetary systems are supposed to be in the gigantic body of the Virat Purus. But what is their actual position? Will you please explain that? Hari.
Haribol. So he's asking about Prakriti, about this world. He's asked about the Jiva, he's asked about the Supreme Lord. And now he's asking about this because he heard about the Virat Purusha, right? Second canto, beginning of second canto, first chapter. So he said you spoke about all these various planetary systems and you just superimposed it on the gigantic Virat Purusha. But actually, what is their position? How is the Lord connected with them, or are they really positioned there on the body of the Lord, or are they existing there as a planet, in space? Can you explain more about it, about their location, how it is situated? Fifth canto topic is this only. This whole thing you will read in fifth canto about this existence of the different planetary systems. Of course, in so many other cantos also it is discussed. Then 12. It's all connected. So 12 and 13 also will finish and we'll stop, and no big purports. यावन् कल्पो विकल्पो वा यथा कालो अनुमीयते भूतभव्य भवच्छाबा यायुर्मानं च यत् सता. Anyone would like to read translation?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Also, please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation, and that of other subsidiary creations, as well as the nature of time indicated by the sound of past, present, and future. Also, please explain the duration and the measurement of life of the different living beings, known as the demigod, like human beings, etc., in different planets of the universe.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is about kalpa, duration of time. He's asking about time and kala and karma. That is also very important. Just like our Bhagavad Gita, we have Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Prakriti. These are the 5 topics, right? So like that, he's asking all the 5 topics. Literally, he's asking for a Bhagavad Gita discourse through the Bhagavatam. And that's what is going to happen as well. So now he's asking about Kala. Kalpa means this whole duration, day of Brahma. Vikalpa is subsidiary time. So there is, and Ayu is your duration of life. So like that, there are different, time is calculated in various measures, right? So he's asking, please explain the duration of time between creation and annihilation, and that of subsidiary creations. There are so many other smaller creations, as well as the nature of time that is indicated by past, present, and future, and the life of different beings. Whether human beings and demigods and animals, we all have the same lifespan, we have different lifespan. How is our lifespan calculated, and so on. Okay, so he's asking all these questions about time in this world. Continuing the question on time, he says, Kalasya gatir yatu laksyate anivibhrhatyapi yavantah karma gatayo yadrishi dvijasattama. Anyone for translation?
Hare Krishna. O purest of the Brahmanas, please also explain the cause of the different durations of time, both short and long, as well as the beginning of time, following the course of action. Hare Krishna.
So this is divisions of time. He's asking both the small portion of time and the greatest fractions of time. So he says that Anvi means very, very small. Brihati means great. So short and long periods of time. Beginning of time, end of time. Anugata as well as the end, how it is experienced. The end as well as the beginning, the middle of time, the course of action. So all the questions about time he is asking. And 14th verse onwards, it's going to be about karma. So, but then we will stop here because I don't want to get into the next section. So far, let's see the question that has been asked. He asked about the jiva, how the jiva is transmigrating. Is the body different from the soul? The second question he asked is about the Lord. The Lord is also assuming bodies. I am also assuming bodies. Am I the same as the Lord? The third question he asks about Brahma. Brahma also is Aja, Lord is also Aja. Are both of them the same? The fourth question he asks about Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, where he is lying, what he is doing. Is he getting affected by Maya? The fifth question is he asks about the position of various planets in this material world. Sixth question, he asks about time span, kalpa, or you can say time span. In various ways, he asks about time span, about how time is perceived, the lifespan of human beings, the divisions of time. All these he asks up till verse number 13. Verse number 14, he will ask about karma, and then he'll ask about the different inhabitants and different universes. Then he'll continue to ask about yugas and all that, but we will see all that later. Okay, so we'll stop here. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, you may ask. Otherwise, we can end.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had a question.
Yes, Mataji.
Actually, my question is silly, but whenever we see autumn rains, like, does it mean whatever these monsoon rains in India, or is some other season that is the rain, some different type of rain comes? We are so disconnected from nature. I've never seen how autumn rain, the pond or this thing looks versus a heavy monsoon rain and all this analysis.
Yeah, so autumn rains occur in the fall season. September, October, November in the northern hemisphere, or March, April, May in the southern hemisphere.
Oh.
And these rains happen because of I'm reading from Google, Wikipedia. Okay, so this is my praman now. So this is autumn. Supposed to be milder than rainy season.
Okay. This from in Mumbai or Gujarat and Maharashtra, I've not seen any other rainy season, so it's probably
Sharad Ritu. So there is Vasanta Ritu. Which one is rainy season, ma?
It's what we see is like summer, right? June, July, August, kind of little bit mid-September tak. Yeah, in general all over India, but.
So the 6 seasons are there, different ritus. So there is Vasanta Ritu, Grishma Ritu. Grishma Ritu is the rainy season. And then you have, Grishma Ritu is not, what am I talking? Grishma Ritu is hot season, right? Okay, let's see. Ritus. Vasanta Ritu is spring. Grishma is hot season. Varsha Ritu. This is the monsoon season, the rainy season in July and August. Sharad Ritu. This is September, October, November. Sharad, autumn. Hemanta Ritu. This is winter. Shirisha, very cold season. Magha and Falguna. Margashirsha and Pausha is Hemanta Ritu. Sharad Ritu is Ashwina or Ashwayuja and Kartika. Varsha Ritu is Shravana and Bhadrapada. Grishma Ritu is Jeshta and Ashada. Vasanta Ritu is Chaitra and Vaishakha.
Okay,
Again,
so
Google Acharya told me. So
okay.
yeah.
So like I don't know if anybody has experience, but how is that rain different from this rain? Is it little milder or
Yeah, because see the flooding rains, that's what I was giving the example of Atlanta. The flooding rains, it will mix up all the dirt that is settled and it will flow. The water color itself will be different. But mild rain will just clean and it will be sparkling water that is flowing. You can see the difference when you see a difference between mild rain and heavy rains.
okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Very good. Okay. Okay, we can end here then. And we can meet there is some nice messages have come on chat. Let me open the chat. Ajo Pisana Vyayatma. Yeah. Virat Rupa he is explaining. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Avajananti Mamuda. Yes. Nice verses. Thank you. Okay. We'll end here and we'll meet again Thursday with verse number 14, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Prabhupada.